You know what could have been good? Hitman from 2007.
Yeah.
I think I like this one more than you do. Give me some highlights.
The letterboxed summary is a genetically engineered assassin with deadly aim known only as Agent 47 eliminates strategic targets for a top secret organization. But when he's double-crossed, the hunter becomes the prey as 47 finds himself in a life or death game of international intrigue. It's very forgettable.
Yeah. I think Timothy Oliphant as Agent 47 was pretty good. I'm not sure if he's necessarily the person I would cast for this role, but I do think he did a pretty good job.
He did well with what he was given. It's hard to critique a movie about Agent 47 because I'm pretty sure he's nonverbal in like all of the games. He doesn't even give like sassy one-liners as he's making kills or anything. He sits down for a briefing, he goes and kills and doesn't say a word. So it's hard to have, an hour and a half, 2 hours of movie where your main character doesn't talk. I think it could be done, but it makes for any dialogue that he has to be awkward because it's like, would he really say that on everything?
Yeah. I think the plot that they came up with, while a little convoluted and I got a little lost in it, was actually a decent idea for how to give this guy a story for us to like care about watching. Like him being double crossed by the client and how it plays between different like government agencies, I thought was pretty cool. It didn't say anything, which is always my gripe.
Yeah,
when it does
that thought.
When it does beans but then doesn't do beans. But I thought that like as a plot was pretty decent. Some of the shootouts were solid. None of them were bad.
It didn't have, as far as I can remember, I watched this last week and I literally don't remember much of it. It didn't have any crazy or fun kills, really. Like there was one scene where Agent 47 poisons a dude and the dude feels sick and he goes to the bathroom and Agent 47 goes to the bathroom at the same time and then kills him, which is pretty standard Hitman stuff. But besides that, there's no like throwing a frying pan at a guy. There's no convoluted like drop a chandelier on a guy and make it look like an accident. It didn't have the pizzazz that a Hitman game has. And to be fair, this movie came out before the last three, big open world, go anywhere, do anything. I played those first two games. I didn't play the third one in this last trilogy, and I haven't played anything before that. I've only played the two. But of what I know about the series, it still has that zip, that little
panache
bit, yes, of like video gamey. You can do some pretty crazy out of the box kills, and you get style points for it because that's like stylish for a Hitman to make it seem like natural causes and not he got shot with a fucking sniper rifle every single time.
Yeah. There was one action sequence that I did really like, and it was the four Hitman against all of each other fight in the subway. Like, if that was done now, that would be done by like the John Wick team of, what is that?
Yeah. John Woo.
No, the company name. Whatever. That like, it's a particular production company that does a lot of those type of action movies these days. They're really blowing up, which is great because they're fucking awesome. Like, it would be done completely different, but for like the mid 2000s shaky cam action scenes, I thought it played out pretty fun. Like, I had a good time with that.
It was interesting that they chose to have 47 kind of be sexless. Like, paired up with somebody which I didn't even think fit naturally in the story anyway. It wasn't like a cliche, you need to come with me if you want to live. It was kind of trash. But after several days of being on this road trip with him, she flat out offers him, and he drugs her and then leaves her alone because he doesn't want to do the do. And I'm pretty sure in some of the older games he is like a womanizer. So I don't know. It was an interesting choice that I just thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I kind of liked that dynamic. It was clunky plot. We need to have him have a side character come along with him or whatever.
Yep.
But I did like the back and forth between the two of them for the most part. And I think that was I think what they were trying to go for was him finally getting even remotely attached to somebody, like he's been trained not to. So thusly, like, he helps her get a new life by the end of the movie and gets himself out of the situation he's in. Which
this only triggered your John Halo brain. Don't lie.
A little bit, yeah. It's true. I was really hoping that the rivalry with like the primary Interpol agent who's going after him would be like a good driving force, because the guy who's trying to get the ghost who no one can find, like, that's a great trope, but it just didn't do much for me. I actually forgot that the movie was all framed with like bookends. Like during the runtime, I completely forgot that the whole thing is just replaying over their exchange. But yeah, I believe I gave it 2 stars out of 5. It is below Sonic 1 and above Warcraft.
Hold, please.
It's in that spot where, like, I wouldn't complain if it was on, but I have no intention of going back.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It's technically a movie. I put it under Super Mario Brothers and above Warcraft.
Yeah, that's close. Super Mario, I think, is like two steps above on my list. So, yeah, it was there. It wasn't painful. That's the weird thing with like the 2000s era of video game movies, is either they're like the most mid thing ever, or they're abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, you have Max Payne, and then you have this, are like the two genders of video game movies. And now we have fucking goated ass prestige TV or Borderlands. Like that, now there's no in between either. They're just two very different ends of the spectrum.
Another complaint I had, you know how if you watch something on a TV with no sound system, no sound bar, anything, the sound levels are jacked, and it's like the music is crazy loud and you can't hear anybody talking. I had that with headphones on, like watching on my phone. It was so poorly jacked. It was very frustrating.
Strange.
So I'm willing to bet it was a movie problem, not a format, how I was watching it problem.
Yeah, I watched it on my laptop, and I think I had a level of that as well. I had to keep adjusting the volume, and I'm not one to be like adjusting the volume because like an action scene's loud. I hate people that do that, but it was enough where I'm like, that's way too loud, and then like, and I like way too low. So,
yes.
Just equalize that shit. You can make it all loud. Like, that's fine. It's not that it's too loud. It's just, you got to bring up the mids.